another day, another member spotlight. Yay! If you don't know what this is by now, I am disappointed, but I forgive you. But I am disappointed. Jokes aside. A member spotlight is basically where we chat to different members within the tag community and talk about digital advertising in all of its forms and glory. So make sure you head over to tagtoday.net/member spotlight to check out all of the latest episodes, because you never know, you might find some treasure. Anyways, talking about today, I am being joined by Karim Reyes, Chief Product Officer over at Nexxen, for a little conversation. So make sure you have your beverage of choice, maybe even a little snack. Either way, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hi Karim, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, good. Where in the world are you?
I am currently in Victoria, BC, usually based out of Seattle, but out here on holiday with family for a week.
Oh, nice, nice. I hope the weather's good out there at the moment.
It's actually pretty amazing. 25 Celsius, sunny, pretty much. Couldn't ask for better.
Nice, very, very nice. For people who don't know you or the business that you work for, are you able to give us just a little bit of a quick intro there?
Sure. I'm Karim Reyes. I'm the Chief Product Officer for Nexxen. Nexxen is a newly formed brand, encompasses multiple companies that were brought together from Amobi to Unruly to Tremor, where we specialize in programmatic technology, mostly focused on video advertising with a high focus on CTV.
Well, firstly, congratulations on the rebrand. It was
Thank you.
huge news in the industry. And I read up a little bit of your press release, and it kind of, I think it brought together something like 4 or 5 different companies that were already under Tremor International, right? So
It did, and I think there's so many brands out there. For us, it was creating some confusion in the market. We have one unified platform that was represented in many brands, often in different brands in different regions as well. So we wanted to do some cleanup. Often happens through acquisitions, and we felt it was a good idea to start fresh with a new brand and really be able to define ourselves and where the company is today.
So how has this moved, or what is Nexxen's vision of the service and products that you provide to your clients with this move?
Yeah, ultimately for us, we wanna be able to engage with our clients in all aspects of the transaction, whether that's onboarding their data, connecting them directly to premium supply. Uh, we want to be a one-stop shop, really focused again on video, but really we're an omni-channel platform as well. Ad tech got pretty complex over the years, and for us, we feel that it shouldn't be the client's job to try to sort how to bring 52 technologies together. Should be on the onus should be on the platforms to do that. So that's really objective, to be able to help them plan, activate, and measure their campaigns and drive the best return on investment.
So looking at this from a protections and security, against threats of all nature, in digital advertising, before this move, obviously the different business units that you had sort of like different stages of tag certification. So
Mhm.
with Tremor, who is now half of Nexxen DSP, they had certified against fraud. Your Nexxen SSP, which is Unruly, they achieved platinum status already. So all of the tag certifications that are currently on offer, they had. So with this sort of new generation, if you would like, of Nexxen, next stage of Nexxen, what are your key focuses on that front in terms of, brand safety, ad fraud, malvertising, threat intel, privacy, and the list goes on and on?
Sure. I think in terms of certification, we'll want to standardize that across all our platforms. As you said, different companies came from different places, but for us, the big focus here, I think, is more of our media business. and where we partner with publishers, broadcasters, etc., which was the legacy unrolled business, now Nexxen SSP. That's really where we engage directly with those publishers and onboard that media, and ultimately where we can provide the highest brand safety for our buyers, because we have full control of the supply path. We're in charge of what supply makes it in, what filters are applied, etc., versus when our buyers choose to buy from other SSPs on our platform. So this for us will remain a high focus, and this is where we can provide a more premium service when it comes to ensuring brand safety and fraud measures. So I'd say that will continue to be our highest focus, but we've standardized our technology across the platforms as we've unified them. So we leverage the same technologies across the board today. So I think it comes down to reapplying for those certifications and standardizing that across the company.
And are you seeing this as a reflection of what your clients are asking and requesting from you?
Yes, especially since we engage quite a bit in CTV, being a newer format. Typically that's what we see with fraud is it moves to the next format. As things get tighter on web, etc. We've seen some of those activities shift to mobile, then we've seen them shift to CTV. So as we engage in those formats, we ensure to have the right technologies in place and the right processes in place to ensure brand safe and fraud-free environments for our clients. So I'd say that's top of mind for our clients buying CTV, especially if you're talking about clients that were focused on buying linear TV in the past and are dipping their toes in digital. It's a new world for them. I think that's very much top of mind for them as they're establishing those processes and so on, and we help them do that.
That's awesome. And do you see a difference, regionally, within your clients? What kind of, in terms of different levels of brand safety, ad fraud, malware protections, on a global basis?
I'd say in general, things are a bit more sophisticated in the US because the buyers are a bit more sophisticated. For us, it's the same measures taken globally, but in terms of the scrutiny, the questions we get, the measures our buyers have in their place to make decisions on what media they're going to purchase and so on. I'd say we see a higher focus in the US today, where other clients in other regions will more often rely on us to help them through that process. But it's often what we see as a technology shift. The shift starts in the US and expands from there. So we expect same measures globally to apply.
Great. And again, going back to the conversation about this, the platinum status that Nexxen DSP had before, and that you were looking at to standardize certification across all of your business units. Do you think it is, you're saying that brand safety is a priority, or brand safety measures, all of its forms, is a priority for you as a business, but do you think that having a 360 approach, more of a holistic approach, to against harms and having defenses against harms in digital advertising is just as important?
No, absolutely. And again, this is where when you provide the technology to enable the entire transaction, you're able to do that. So for us, we have that advantage, and it's important for us to bring that benefit to our clients. And again, having the same scrutiny and standards on the supply and demand side, I think is very important. Having the same approach helps standardize things, and so it also removes it removes some operational burdens, right? So if you have a certain process on the supply side to vet inventory, it's important that your demand platform also has the same process, or you're going to run into conflict. So those are things, and our compliance teams are across our entire platform, and oversee both the supply and demand side of our business. So that helps us do that.
Right. No, that's awesome. And you're saying, CTV, video is pretty much your bread and butter, but Nexxen as a business is an omni-channel business.
Yes.
Are
Absolutely.
there at the moment within sort of your arsenal of products and services like specific channels where your clients are asking a few more questions around brand safety measures than others?
Yeah, I would say there are different questions. I'd say brand safety specifically more so on web. Um, you know, as it comes to various website, but when it comes to especially in the last few years, what happened around news sites, etc., and brand association to different type of articles and so on. I'd say we see more of that brand safety conversation on the website,
Mm.
where we see more of the fraud conversations on the CTV side and on the mobile side, where I think web is just more mature when it comes to that. So we get more questions in general about processes, etc., on that side, on the fraud side, and again, brand safety on the website. Uh, CTV, you're dealing with a lot less publishers. You're ultimately buying on, maybe several hundred properties rather than tens of thousands. So the supply channels are picked and choose in advance. So that also helps that side. And there's different type of technologies on CTV, such as content targeting, et cetera, that help narrow down those selections as well. So kind of a different problem on each side, but yeah, very much so. I'd say on the brand safety side, it's been more on the website.
Okay. And in terms of, thinking about the future and all of these emerging channels that are kind of like popping up like daisies at the moment,
Yeah.
where do you think, for Nexxen or, you personally has the most interest or innovation that you guys could potentially move into and therefore also thinking about potential threats that it could bring to digital advertising and what could we potentially do to protect ourselves from those?
No, I think in terms of interest, for sure, for us, as we're seeing at merging the TV activations across the board, so bringing linear, fast channels, apps, etc., into the transactions as the one deduplicated supply source. I think that's a high focus for us. That's done through planning as well, not just the activation. We have the planning tools to enable that. Uh, and I'd say, again, like when it comes to fraud and so on, it's new emerging channels that are launching. So ensure you're working with the partners directly and that you're buying the inventory directly. I think first and foremost, even before any technology is applied, the operational process and the onboarding process, the compliance process around all that is very important. But as those new channels are emerging, et cetera, that will bring new opportunities for people looking to fraud to do just that. So I think for us, it's always keeping an eye on that. But I feel like that's that when we're talking about TV, that's the high focus for us is bringing and simplifying, bringing these activations together. You can buy essentially the same shows, same media from so many sources today. It used to be a single unified source, and things got really fragmented. And our job is to bring that back together.
Okay, great. Okay. So thinking about the different tools and best practices and guidance that TAG and the community produce every year, what are some of those tools and best practices that you guys use at Nexxen internally?
Sure. I think first and foremost, we're very very involved in the TAG community, and so we engage in the working groups that TAG hosts, and we're involved in helping shape the next tools around fraud prevention. So for us, that's been a very useful community to exchange ideas and so on. We also leverage the list TAG provide us, from the data center IP list, the mobile list, etc., to help us, with those static blacklists that we host on our side. I'd say, beyond that, it's just really having tax guidance and help around, certifying our solutions, giving us advice on our tools and feedback has been very valuable. Just having some independent audit of the solution we've put in place has been very useful for us.
Awesome. No, that's really, really awesome to hear. And what advice would you give to any prospective tag member or current tag member about leveraging us as an industry body, or you know, or just the tag community in general?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say first and foremost, I would encourage any people thinking about it to engage with tag and go through certification. This helps us as an industry to standardize brand safety and fraud avoidance and leverage the same standards across the board. So buyers don't have to wonder if they're getting the same quality from one source versus another. I think that's very important to drive those standards. And I think in general to engage with the community. We talked about the working groups and so on, but engage with other members to discuss best practices and to apply those best practices to your business. I think ultimately as well, you know, there's value through a tag seal as well to provide to clients that assurance that that our tools have been vetted and that we're leading with brand safety and fraud avoidance measures as a business. And I think ultimately, for us at least, it's been a great tool for clients. Part of our assets, it's part of our RFP responses and so on to clients. So I think that brings value to the business for sure.
Awesome, great. Right, so we are at the final part of this interview, the Tags 10 questions.
All right.
You who don't know, Tags 10 questions is a quick fire round of 10 questions, randomly selected, all in the aim of joy. So, Karim,
all right.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Right. First question, what's your preferred method of travel?
Airplane. For sure.
What is the meal that reminds you of home the most?
So my mother is Lebanese, so any Middle Eastern food, kaftas and so on, definitely reminds me of home the most.
Oh God, all the spices as well. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Nintendo Game Boy or Nintendo Switch?
I'm old school Game Boy. For sure.
Yes. Yes. Color or like first gen Game Boy?
I think my best memories are from first gen Game Boy when I was a kid.
Yeah. Most used emoji?
Thumbs up, actually, probably.
Cool. Your favorite YouTube channel right now?
Oh boy. That's a good one. I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I'm not a big channel subscriber. I'm more of a lurker of YouTube. So I'd say it changes over time. You know, when I'd say right now a lot of computer hardware, et cetera, channels I've been into, they'll switch to cars, they'll switch to other teams, like kind of get on those binges.
Fair enough. We love a YouTube rabbit hole because we live in it.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your guilty pleasure tune? And by tune I mean song or record.
I'd say old school rock in general. The Queen probably is my guilty pleasure. Alone in the car, I'll blast some Queen.
Is Queen a guilty pleasure though?
I don't know. Maybe for Americans.
Fair. Are you an umbrella person or a raincoat person?
Raincoat. In Seattle, people don't use umbrellas. It's a weird thing, but we just live with the rain.
Fair.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing about going to the dentist?
Probably the shock if you fix your cavities. I have a phobia of needles, so for me, that's definitely the worst thing.
Fair enough. So do I. Millennium Falcon or Starship Enterprise?
A Millennium Falcon. Not a Star Trek fan.
Oh, okay. All right. No comment. Last film that you watched?
Last film that I watched was probably some kids movie, The Joy of Having Young Kids. I think the Mario movie was the last one I watched.
I heard really good things about it. I haven't seen it myself.
Yeah. See, it's good to watch once. My
Okay.
kids will binge on it for a while, but once was enough for me.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
All right, catch you soon.